Anthony Davis, without a doubt, has been the best scorer for the Los Angeles Lakers this year. And there are some reasons for that, right? Because he is that offensive force that a team needs to generate more and more points, to score more and more points. He's that offensive force. Because tell me the areas where he can't play. He can play, let's start from near to the basket. He can play at the rim. He can play near the rim, inside the painted area. He can play at the lower block. He can play at the upper block, if you call it. He can play at the block. He can post up, low post, and then he can hit these mid-range shots, which were just falling incredibly against the Denver Nuggets and throughout the playoffs. And then he has the ability to shoot the three-pointers like a shooter. That shooting form is really pure, and he has a really good arc on his shot. So I can't find anything. And off-ball movement, if you talk, well, he's not of that shooter size that he'll run. He'll have those backdoor cuts for the for three-pointers, for catch and shoot three-pointers. No, but he does have those off-ball movements while he is in that painted area, when he catches those lobs coming off a spin move without the ball. So he has all those tools in his boxes. But I'm talking about how his play, how his scoring has changed in the playoffs, if we compare it with the regular season. And I've always believed that Los Angeles Lakers were experimenting throughout the playoffs. Like, Frank Vogel is a coach that isn't scared of making some changes, bringing some changes in his lineup and experimenting with new things. Like, he added Dwight Howard into the lineup, sometimes JaVale McGee, and manipulating the position of Anthony Davis, sometimes playing him at the center position forward, sometimes keeping him outside the perimeter. Those kind of things, he has done that. And in the playoffs, I've observed that Anthony Davis, Los Angeles Lakers haven't played Anthony Davis the same way they used to do in the regular season. They haven't really run the offense only through him. They haven't really started the offense only through him like they do in the regular season. And that was an instant change. There might be some reasons behind that, right? They might want to try something different, but it wasn't the same thing. Like, you see how the Lakers usually started their offense was making Anthony Davis catch the ball at the post position, or maybe the high post or something like that, and let him operate and let him warm up and get his shots up so that he can get throughout the game. That's how the game worked for him in the regular season. But coming into the playoffs, that wasn't the case really. They were moving the ball more in the playoffs, and it so happened that the more games they played in the playoffs, the better they got at the defensive side, and the chemistry got better for the Los Angeles Lakers. So he was more involved in making plays for the whole team and playing for the whole team, instead of just getting his shots up and getting points from him. So that's what has been changed. And the biggest change that I've observed in the playoffs by Anthony Davis is that he's playing really less near to the basket. He's playing really less at that post position. I mean, he has been playing at that position in the regular season, and if you compare it with other players, other big men, he was playing at that post position more than them. But now he's not. He doesn't want to play the center position, but he said that, it wasn't really his priority, but he'll go according to the team, and when the team needed, he played the center position. But he is getting away from that painted position. And the best example that we can see is in this series, the Heat versus the Los Angeles Lakers, where in the last 3 games he has pushed himself out of that painted area, and the offense isn't really running much through him. And also we can see the difference between those scores between the Lakers and Heat isn't really a very big deal, because the Heat are really close to them. Jimmy Butler is playing great, but Anthony Davis, you see, not much of the offense is running through him, and you can see him shooting some long 3-pointers, shooting the mid-range, and wandering near to the 3-point line around the perimeter, but not really attacking inside. They're not trying to do that. I don't know why they are not trying to do that, but they should. And the other reason is also that Miami Heat is trying to deny the ball to Anthony Davis. That has been one of their main plans, because Anthony Davis is so dominant down there. So they are trying to limit his touches inside the paint or at the post position, at the low post. they're trying to limit his touches there. Still he gets some, but not enough, not really according to his ability and the level where he can play there. We can see Bam Adebayo has made his presence felt after he came back after the minor injury, and that has been the main case. But I think that Anthony Davis himself wants to go out, play like some kind of play like a wing, and that might develop throughout his career. But I don't think that he should really go away from that mid-range game or from that post game or that under the basket game, because that's so crucial for the Los Angeles Lakers. That was what brought the Lakers to the playoffs, and that's how they succeeded in the regular season. So he shouldn't take away, like, he can work on those shots. He should be working. Who am I to tell him what to do? But I think that he should be working on those, because his bag isn't really that vast, isn't really that big. If you at that post position, if you look clearly, he doesn't have really too many moves. Most of the times he's facing up and then hitting one or two spin moves, and that's all. He doesn't really have much. So if he works on that, it'll be really great for him. And shooting, I don't know, I know that he'll be working on his shooting, because he's trying to shoot like the shooting guards. He's trying to shoot coming off the screen sometimes, coming through the backdoor cuts and trying to shoot those shots. So that's really great, but he shouldn't be leaving that post position.